Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dhena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Hari Bo.
Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees who have joined us from various parts around the world. We are gathering the energy, enthusiasm that was gifted to us by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somehow a miracle happened, and our movement is a series of miracles as we depend more and more on the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course, this is a short life. We're all just passing through. And while we are, if we can invest all of our energy and give our focus fully towards hearing, chanting, remembering, spreading the Sankirtan movement, then we can rise to the occasion of human life, which is to be able to fully remember Krishna at the time of death. Those who are involved in the Sankirtan movement are creating a portfolio, a spiritual portfolio that can be presented to exalted personalities, including the four Kumaras or anyone else, and say, yes, I was there. I was on earth at that time, and I participated with His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in the Sankirtan movement. And that is our main credit in life. All else is details of how we somehow or other hold together this physical and mental frame. I first offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to all the acharyas who are inspiring us, and to all the devotees who are present here today. Such great souls. I'm so happy to be with you. We really did something together this time that was noticeable. There are repercussions. There's a shot heard around the world. And of main interest to me in this entire exercise was the cooperation. Our mantra throughout team building exercises in the world has been that the ultimate result is indicative of how we cooperated. Birds fly in the sky as high as they're able, but the sky's unlimited. So whatever number we come to, there are always going to be bigger numbers, and there are always going to be somebody who did more somewhere. So the main reward that we can take away is how somehow or other we were able to sublimate the individual ego for the sake of the collective ego, and understand that by doing that, we can actually develop more capacity. And so what I find as the most important of all results in what we're doing together around the world is capacity. How much capacity are we developing? How big can we develop the pipeline so that we can distribute more to people around the world? And the mood of selflessness, that we're all in this together, and we are interested in pleasing Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by our work together, is the most important goal that we have. I'll just read one quick passage. This is from Srila Prabhupada, and one of my favorite quotes of all time. He says, "There is love. Without love, you cannot do so. You have got some bit of love for me, therefore you carry my order. Otherwise, it is not possible. I cannot also. You are foreigners, you are Americans. I came from another country. I have no bank account. I cannot also order you. You must do it, otherwise I will chastise you. Because there is love, it is a connection of love. I can also become bold enough to chastise you, but you also, in whatever condition, you carry my order due to the basic principle is love, and our whole philosophy is love. So Prabhupada emphasized to Karandar many years ago in management that we should create an environment in which devotees want to do service that's individual, spontaneous, and voluntary. And he said, you should always create a fresh challenge so that the devotees will want to rise up and meet it. A famous world musician said, life is what happens when you're making other plans. And actually, while we're engaged in working together, life just goes by. We use up our valuable human life in an important way, working together to spread the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. All that Prabhupada's books offer to the world is inestimable. It's the most important, and we make that statement loud and clear when we cooperate together to distribute as many as we can. So today we're going to celebrate. We need a time, because actually in American football there's this phenomenon. There's this big event every year called the Super Bowl. And the big teams come together, and then one of them wins, obviously. And then when the most valuable player is walking off the field, the news reporters come up and they say, so how do you feel? And say, I feel good. And they say, can you do this again next year? That's what they ask people who do some achievement. Can you do it again? And then it was only 10 seconds. You won 10 seconds ago. So thankfully for us, we also have that pressure. And that's the kind of pressure we felt when Prabhupada was on the planet. And that's the pressure that when we decide to voluntarily keep it on ourselves, our movement grows. That's what puts the move in movement. When we don't have that challenge, when we're not going for the next goal that seems like that it seems impossible, or at least improbable, then we don't have that spark, that fire where we're saying, Lord Chaitanya, where are you? I can't sleep because I have to make this goal. Of course, we can't stay in that position 24/7, but we need that stimulus as a movement in order to move. Otherwise, we end up on a plateau, and that's torture, because then we just see all the problems, we see all the differences, and then we argue about it. So today is a celebration of our cooperation. We did this together, and let's see how we can take what we've done and invest it again, double down, and see how we can put that mood of cooperation together and all that we've learned together into building the pipeline even bigger, so we can include more devotees, and so we can get more of the transcendental sound vibration in the form of these books out to the world. Hare Krishna. So now we have, I hope, His Grace Bhima Prabhu, who has joined us from Mumbai. Is that true? Hey, there, Bhima Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Bhima Prabhu is from America. He was on the Radha Damodar traveling party and then went to India and really brought the techniques from the West into India and helped to expand the Sankirtan party into what it is today, buses and so forth. And one of my dear friends, and thank you very much, Bhima, for all that you do and for being here today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Vaisesika Prabhu, thank you for your kind inspiration. This Bhadra Purnima campaign has been a good lesson for me. that never underestimate a good pandemic. Can always be a source of whatever obstacle. It can be a source of increasing our service. The other lesson that I learned is that it's such an unexpected number of sets that were distributed. Just trying to figure out how it happened. You know, it was kind of like a whirlwind. But I got a couple of ideas why I'd like to share. One is that we got the leaders, especially the leaders in India, to get behind it. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami, His Holiness Radhanath Swami, His Holiness Bhakti Raghava Swami. They all supported and spoke about the importance of the Bhadra Purnima Bhagavatam set distribution. That was a very big encouragement to all the centers to do whatever they can do. We had bigger scores from the bigger centers. We had better scores from the medium centers. And for the first time, we had some scores from some of the smaller centers. So it really helped. Of course, no material thing or whatever you try to do will never work unless you have the mercy of the Lord. So I really saw that the Lord's mercy was open all the way. So I was trying to analyze why now the Lord is being merciful and manifesting that mercy in the form of transcendental literatures, flooding going out. One of the big things I think that encouraged the Lord to have mercy was the fact that we had this team spirit. And the mood was that we're all in this together. And the whole world, India, America, England, everyone was contributing to a global goal, a global score. I think that helped. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the sons of Priyabrat, the Prachetas, they were offering prayers to Lord Shiva. And the Lord appeared. Now the Lord appeared, Prabhupada explains, because of the mood that the Prachetas, the brothers, had of working together. They were all very congenial in their efforts and in the glorification of the Lord. And when the Lord sees that, Prabhupada explained, the Lord becomes pleased. And he was so pleased that he manifested himself to the Prachetas. Similarly, I think in this year's campaign, more than ever, that mood of cooperation was there, that mood of working together towards a common goal all over the world, which pleases the Lord. And therefore, he manifested himself in the form of overflooding the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is something I think that really helped us and will continue to help us if we can continue to have that mood. Some of the things that I think we can improve on, we got to start a little earlier. Of course, in my particular instance, I was thinking COVID, we can't really do much, but due to the inspiration of other devotees, that changed, but it changed a little bit later on. I think in our next attempt, next year, You really have to focus a lot earlier and with a lot more deliverables. Senior devotees. We had some good amount this year, better than last year, but we need more. And other, I think one important addition this year was that Yagya was supposed to be in Naimisharanya, but it wound up in Hogla, which was a good second choice, if you ask me. People were interested in, devotees were interested to participate and to donate a set to be part of it. I think that was a nicely organized, but like that, it can be better organized. We can have a better setup. It was innovative. And next year, if we improve it, I think that will help us a lot. So these are some of the things that I think we can improve. We can give it our best shot next year also. And the rest is up to the Lord. In a lecture in Sridham Mayapur, 1974, Srila Prabhupada was preaching to all the devotees. And he said that you simply make the effort. You simply approach people and ask them to take the Krishna consciousness. Whether they take, whether they don't take, that is not your concern. That is up to Lord Chaitanya. He is there within their heart. So having that detached mood, trying our best, looking out for what works better, what we can do better, in the spirit of a team working together, then certainly the Lord will have His mercy on us and have His mercy on all the conditioned souls by allowing more and more books to be distributed. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu. So good to see you, and thank you for your very inspiring words as usual. And now we have,
Nice to see you.
Thank you. Sri Ram Prabhu, one of the co-founders of the India Sankirtan Leaders Team, from behind the scenes. He's helping to organize congregational Sankirtan all over India. He and I have been working under Bhima Prabhu for several years now together. And he's going to introduce some of the India leaders. And now we hand it over to you, Sri Ram Prabhu.
Thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu, and my humble obeisance to all the Vaishnavas here. Yeah, it was a great Bhadra year this year. I would like to start with His Grace Revatiraman Prabhu. He's a temple president and a GBC. Whole ISKCON Tirupati runs with Srila Prabhupada books day in, day out. And I would like to thank especially Prabhu coming all the way from Tirupati for Bhadra Yagna, even it was a COVID. And Prabhu said for Srimad Bhagavatam, I am there. So we are very happy to have Revatiraman Prabhu here. We like to hear from him. Thank you, Prabhu. It's your turn, Revatiraman Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Bhima Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Vaisesika Prabhu, Sri Ram Prabhu, and all the wonderful devotees present there. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Bhadra Purnima. Hats off to the Trinity. There is Vaisesika Prabhu and Bhima Prabhu and Sri Ram Prabhu. Is your desire to please Srila Prabhupada so nicely took it from last 2 years and is booming. Every year is booming. This time 10,000, but it went up to 23,000. That's something amazing. That was during the pandemic. It's something amazing. You know, it's the Prabhupada's mercy and the endeavor of all the devotees. I'm really excited. At present, I'm traveling. You know, I'm on the road highways from Kerala to Tirupati. You know, some of the God section. I stopped here. You know, so Bhagavatam. You know, in Telugu. You know, Sri Ram Prabhu is also Telugu speaking. I am also Telugu speaking. In Telugu, Bhagavatam means you'll become okay. When anybody has Bhagavatam, they'll become okay. No Bhagavatam, nobody can be happy. You know, Tasma Sankirtanam Vishnu. What is the end result of Bhagavatam? Sankirtanam. Nama Sankirtanasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. The last verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Pranamo Dukashamanas Tannamami Hari Param. Nama Sankirtanasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. All the sins will be eradicated by Sankirtana. That comes from Srimad Bhagavatam. Tasmat Sankirtana Vishnu. Jagat Mangalam. Ham Asham. Entire universe will become happy by Sankirtana. Distributing Bhagavatam is Sankirtana. Chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Sankirtana. Like Sukadeva Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj, Yasyam Vai Shruyamanayam. Krishna Paramapurushe. Shruyamanayam. One should hear regularly Srimad Bhagavatam. Regularly study Bhagavatam. Bhaktir Utpadyate Pumsaha. That jiva in his heart, bhakti utpadyate, manifests. Then what happens? Shoka, moha, bhaya, apaha. Shoka, moha, bhaya, apaya. This shoka, lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya is vanquished. That's the power of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Bhadra Purnima, it's about 2 years back we started. That time Bhima Prabhu came to Tirupati. On some service he came there. I think some festival. That time he told me. In fact, I was not conscious of Bhadra Purnima at all. Bhima Prabhu told me, Ravitraman, I think you should focus on Bhadra Purnima. You should focus on distributing Bhagavatams. At least you should distribute 108 Bhagavatams. I was shocked. 108, how is it possible? But I took it seriously and we worked. And we could distribute 256 Bhagavatam sets first time. So this time we have touched 108 and the time is there till December. Let us see how many more sets we can distribute. That's one thing. And also, the future, how we should plan. In India, the 4 divisional councils we can discuss, or an IAC advisory body, all India level, national body, there we can discuss and see how we can have 4 teams for north, south, east, west. Bhadra Purnima teams, and then see how we can increase. And coming to Tirupati, I am planning how to involve TTD, Tirupati Tirumala Devasthanams, how we can take their help and see how we can distribute more, And finally, like sometime back, I heard a lecture of Gaur Govind Swami, Bhuvaneshwar, a brahmachari approached him asking his Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, can I change the ashram? Nice brahmachari. And Gaur Govind Swami said, yes, you can change the ashram. You should change the ashram. This brahmachari was shocked. So easily, Guru Maharaj, you agree? I can change the ashram? Yes, you should. Guru Maharaj, I mean, I want to get married. Yes, you should get married. Get married. Guru Maharaj, really? Yes, you get married to Srimad Bhagavatam. So every one of us should get married to Bhagavatam. When you get married to Bhagavatam, life is success. All can be happy. The whole world can be happy. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances to all the devotees present there. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. That's it, Sriram Prabhu.
Thank you,
I'm
Revathiruman.
finished.
I know you're traveling and you stopped in the ghat. When you said that, I thought, how will it make it possible? Thank you very much, Prabhu. Revathiruman,
Thank you,
for
Prabhu.
joining us. Thank Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
We'd like to hear next from ISKCON Delhi. Rishi Kumar Prabhu is there with us, representing. He's the chairman of NIDC. When this Bhadra campaign started, when Delhi announced 5,000 sets from under His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, whole campaign went to new look. Whole campaign was a different outlook. So we'd like to hear from Rishi Kumar Prabhu how it happened. And Rishi Kumar Prabhu, thank you, Prabhuji. It's yours.
Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Last year was a kind of watershed year because I remember receiving a WhatsApp message from His Grace Bhima Prabhu showing me some visuals from the Mayapur award ceremony or installation ceremony of Bhagavatam. It had to put it in italics, some kind of a tone which said, show this to your temple president. So clearly Delhi, which has been topping marathon scores otherwise across the years, has not done much in Srimad Bhagavatam campaign. Bhadra Purnima started, although it started recently, there was no visible movement in that sense. So last year we ended up somehow, after a little bit of push, reaching about 160 odd Bhagavatam sets. And so this year, when this whole campaign started, he's known as Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who's traditionally seen as the moving figure for book distribution across his zones. He sort of, if you say in very local parlance, got on our case. So, and it was clear targets, it was a whole host of inspiration. And in the middle of the Bhagavatam class, after Maharaj gave this inspiration for Bhadra Purnima, His Grace Mohan Rupa Prabhu, the temple president of ISKCON Delhi, he sort of came out with this 5,000 number. And when I asked him later, how did he come up with the number? He just said, no, I just felt like saying it. So it was, I guess, clearly there were higher arrangement. So many Vaishnavas at work, His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, His Grace Bhima Prabhu, inspiring, and you behind the scenes, people working very hard. So I guess it was bound to happen, and so far I'm happy to share with you that we've done 600 Bhagavatams sets, which is nearly 4 times what we did last year. And Krishna willing, 5,000 doesn't look so, let's just say, imposing as it would have been last year. And with due respect, clearly the moving figure is His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And when I told him that we are having this meeting today, frankly, he was a bit surprised. He said, nobody told me. So, and it was, and now of course he's got another meeting going on. So I was a bit embarrassed saying that, I myself got to know in the afternoon. So I don't know where we lost the script in this, but clearly he would have been happy to be in this and inspire Vaishnavas and also thank them. I think that's, with due respect, it looked like a little bit of a slip up from my end. From my end, I feel it was slip up from our collective end, because he was so happy to see everyone get involved in the Bhagavatam campaign. Having said that, there's one devotee, one Mataji, she got through her online preaching, just about everyone to commit. More than 200 sets she got sponsored, and she got them all signed by Maharaj and stuff like that. So that really inspired a whole lot of people to take up books. So there are some, this was a huge success. And apart from that, there are a lot of commitments that have come in. But there are 2-3 areas that we thought were avoidable glitches that we can probably work on next time. We've already discussed this in terms of logistics. Inventory was an issue because it was a little bit weird that on Bhadra Purnima we don't have stock. It can be looked at very positively that we've liquidated our stock by Bhadra Purnima. But the reality is that on that day we ought to have substantial number of copies going in, and it's maybe due to COVID, maybe due to other reasons, but we ought to have our logistics in place. That's our first point. Second thing, I think, although there were these 2 beautiful meetings that we have had, devotees from US also sharing their inspirational stories and techniques as outlined by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu also. It was important that ISKCON in general sorts out its online plan, because unfortunately, a lot of online book distribution that happens today is also being handled by what you would say are bootleggers or people who have differential pricing, which works. So I think BBT and all local divisional councils in India, and I'm speaking on this as in my personal service capacity as chairman of the Northern India Division Council, that there ought to be some sort of online platform plan where our copyrights are also protected and our pricing rights are also protected. So that's the second point that which can work on. And the third thing is, I think pledging, so to say, should start much earlier. We started a bit late this time. Traditionally, for marathon in Delhi, at least, we start quite early in terms of the regular books. So Bhagavatam is one thing probably because we didn't wake up earlier in the past, but with due respect to the whole system, I think there must be some way we can start planning this much earlier. If I'm not mistaken, there are some parts of the world where there are multiple marathons, like there are summer marathons, there are winter marathons and others. Narasimha Chaturdashi marathon, so on and so forth. So if we can find out a way where Bhadra Purnima campaign gets a more prominent pledging place in the scheme of things, it just starts much earlier. And it also has to occupy a bit more of mind space. That is, to be honest, it's still not there fully because it's coming just on the throes of Janmashtami in many ways. And Janmashtami itself, devotees we are engaging congregation. For your information, in marathon, normally, we engage nearly 3,000 congregation members. To us, that is actually a bigger achievement than getting 200,000, 300,000 Gitas, which we've been regularly getting. That's not the real achievement. The real achievement is 3,000 people getting engaged in Delhi. And apart from that, Punjabi Bagh has another 1,500 odd people. It's a huge number of people getting engaged. So with this number of people and they already being a part of Janmashtami and other festivals, it becomes a little difficult for them to commit time and capabilities in terms of Bhadra Purnima because festivals are much bigger here. So that's a thought. I might have got a few dates here and there wrong, but the broader principle is engaging congregation becomes a little bit of a challenge. So we got to work on it. And I also want to offer in my service capacity for the Northern India Divisional Council that we have a regular series of meetings happening with the executive committee now. And like we are planning ahead for many festivals. So if Bhadra Purnima, if you alert the divisional councils much earlier in India, you will get a lot more involvement of many temples. So we can take it up, at least for Northern India, I can commit that we can take it up among the temples in the Northern India Divisional Council to develop a little bit more of a collective commitment so that we can contribute better. So these were some of my thoughts. I beg forgiveness if some of this have been a little insensitive, but it's miraculous the numbers that have happened, and we're still recovering from your poster which says 10,000 cross and 23,000. The very poster is so unsettling. It is so tremendously explosive, and I think this is extraordinary. I want to again thank Vaisesika Prabhu and Bhima Prabhu for inspiring this whole wave, and I want to once again request that it'll be nice if in this meeting His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj had been there, because he can give us a lot more vision on these matters. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rishi Kumar Prabhu. My apologies. I agree with you. We should have Gopal Krishna Maharaj. There was a last minute thing. We'll definitely have. We have one more India call, very specific. It's a global call, so we want to have some of them from India. So next call, we'll have Maharaj in the call for sure. And thanks for your nice inputs. We'll correct it. Now I would like to call upon His Grace Achar Ratna Prabhu. Is representing EIDC, Eastern Division Council. He's a temple president of ISKCON Kolkata, and we like to hear from even Mayapur scores from Prabhu. Welcome, Prabhuji. It's yours.
Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhu?
It's clear, very clear.
Okay. I am feeling extremely honored to be part of this Go to Goloka campaign, Bhadra Purnima campaign. And it's amazing to see that target being 10,000. Now we have reached 23,000. So I felt that this pandemic, devotees got a great opportunity, great engagement during the pandemic. Empty mind, devil's workshop. When you sit at home, and there is nothing creative to do. It can eat up your mind. But this Bhadra Purnima being in pandemic activated the minds of devotees, and I saw so many devotees sitting and thinking how to distribute Bhagavatam set. This was very amazing. In Eastern India, actually just in April itself, His Holiness Jayapadaga Maharaj, who is always very enthusiastic to inspire devotees for distributing Prabhupada books, he gave a talk on Bhadra Purnima, and he was inspiring everybody that we should distribute. So in April itself, he took commitments from different devotees. Mayapur had taken commitment that time for 3,000 Bhagavatam sets, but by Bhadra Purnima, Mayapur completed 3,781 sets, and I just came to know that this Bhagavatam Bhadra Purnima scores can be till December. So maybe if it is December, then another 2,000 Mayapur can do, because every month they are doing 400 to 500 Bhagavatam sets. So mostly by calling on phones, because now you can't travel much. So on phone calling, all those who had taken earlier Bhagavad Gita's and other Prabhupada books, devotees are sitting and calling them and checking if they want Bhagavatam and inspiring them to take Bhagavatam. So till Bhadra Purnima date, Mayapur distributed 3,781, and Kolkata distributed 221 sets, and Paniati distributed 177 sets, and other also. So total Eastern India Council distributed 4,708 sets for till Bhadra Purnima. We didn't take commitment from Bhadra Purnima to December. We thought that Bhadra Purnima means till Bhadra Purnima. So we had asked devotees to commit and taken pledges till Bhadra Purnima. So most of them completed their pledges, and EIDC has distributed around 4,708 Bhagavatam sets till Bhadra Purnima. So we saw that Jayapadaga Maharaj inspirational talk right in the April was very inspiring. And then Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj personally, along with Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Swami Maharaj, inspired all the bus parties of Mayapur to, though they are not able to go out, he engaged them to sit in Mayapur and call and make calling parties, like, and distribute books. Also, one of the very inspiring was that Zoom call with Vaisesika Prabhu along with Gopal Krishna Maharaj. That was really very, very inspiring and boosting up for devotees. And later on, Zoom calls with Vaisesika Prabhu, Bhima Prabhu, Radhnath Maharaj, Jayapadaga Maharaj, and Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, all these senior devotees. Because when you see leaders are talking about it, then everybody wants to do and put their heart. Also, I saw in Panihati, right after Gaur Purnima got over, they started making announcement at the end of every program. From Gaur Purnima to Bhadra Purnima, so many announcements were made. So all practical congregation became aware of it, and that really helped to distribute many Bhagavatam sets. So some of the challenges we felt was, or what we can do improve next time, was actually this one was pricing thing, because we saw now world is digitally connected. So either Bombay or Calcutta or Pune or Chennai doesn't make difference. But we saw all throughout in internet different prices of Bhagavatam. Same Bhagavatam, English, Hindi, Bengali, but Delhi is distributing at different price. Bombay is distributing at different price. Chennai is distributing at different price. Calcutta is distributing at different price. So this actually created a lot of disturbance among the people. Some of them were feeling, why this so much difference, it was created. So we need to work on that, so that when we do next time Bhadra Purnima, at least English Bhagavatam set all over India can be same price. Hindi Bhagavatam set all over India can be same price. Bengali Bhagavatam all over India can be same price. If we can same price language wise, that would really be very inspiring, because digitally now people are very close. And also we saw that this time in Eastern India we had 20 centers who participated, and they distributed more than 4,700 sets. So we hope next year we can try to double the number of centers participation, 40 centers. If we can make sure that more centers participate, naturally scores will increase. And also this time we had a lot of temple devotees doing distribution. we are very inspired to hear Rishi Kumar Prabhu that more than 3,000 devotees distributing Prabhupada books in Delhi. So this is a really great inspiring thing. So we can also work on this to see how more and more congregation can also be involved to distribute Bhagavatams. And also we thought that maybe we can start this monthly Zoom calls right from April onwards or after Gaur Purnima every month at least once, because this global phone calls or Zoom meetings are really very inspiring to see that people all over the world are struggling hard and they're so inspired by Prabhupada and they're doing so much to please Prabhupada. So this enthusiasm and this is very contagious. So we thought that if we can do that, that would be great. And so thank you very much. It had been a great joy to see devotees' enthusiasm in distributing Bhagavatam sets, which was earlier appearing to be very, very difficult. Gita distribution had become easier, but to distribute one Bhagavatam set was like a big task. But this time to see thousands of Bhagavatam sets going is a dream come true. Very amazing. Thank you. So we can see the power of coming together and working, serving together. Especially would like to thank Vaisesika Prabhu, Bhima Prabhu. Bhima Prabhu personally had been calling everyone and inspiring, pushing that we should do something wonderful for pleasure of Prabhupada. We are grateful to Bhima Prabhu for his inspiration and also push to go beyond the comfort zone to please Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Charathan Prabhu. It was nice inputs, very well thought about it, and we'll make note of that. Now I would like to call upon from ISKCON Pune. We didn't have Radhesham Prabhu, he was having some other things. We have Sarvalakshan Prabhu, who is a Sankirtan leader. We can bring Sarvalakshan Prabhu here. When the first call happened about Bhadra, ISKCON Pune is the first one to say 2,000 sets. It was like 10,000 was, for us 7,000 was the goal. When Pune started with 2,000, the whole outlook has been changed and everybody said we can make it. So thank you, Sarvalakshan Prabhu, for getting that first goal, big goal to come out from you.
Sriram Prabhu, I just want to make one quick point before Sarvalakshan Prabhu starts.
Okay.
Go ahead, Prabhuji. Very quick. We short of time. So
His Grace Mohan Rupa Prabhu could not join in. He wanted to join at. He said he may come at 7, but he wanted to join in because His Grace Bhima Prabhu, you told me, had wanted him to come, but then probably was not sufficient notice for him. He couldn't make it. So he.
I see him is there. Mohan Rupa Prabhu has come.
I'm here just to interrupt.
Oh, yes, there you are.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mohan. Yeah, I think we'll finish Sarvalakshan Prabhu and then we'll come back if that is okay for everyone. Mohan Prabhu, is that fine?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Sarvalakshan Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Actually, recently, Acharya Tampu was giving a Bhagavatam class in Pune. In that, he was explaining that some symptoms of liberated souls. So in that, one of the symptom is Satya Sankalpa. Whatever pure devotee speaks, it will happen. So I saw that beginning this year, before marathon, first time it is happening that His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and His Grace Bhima Prabhu, and they are coming with the new idea of having all the leaders together. And this association of devotees, it was so contagious, and we got so much strength from this association that I don't know how it came from my mouth that we will distribute 2,000 Bhagavatam sets. And amazingly, at the end of, after the meeting, and I arranged one meeting with our councillors. In Pune, we have 60 councillors. And in that meeting, that councillors all together, commitment came. It was 3,000. Instead of 2,000, it's 3,000. Actually, we got commitment. We crossed 3,000. Bhagavatam sets. And Acharya Ratnapu was giving Bhagavatam class the first day. In that first Bhagavatam class itself, Acharya Ratnapu gave class, and at the end of the class, we distributed 30 Bhagavatam sets. It was amazing. I saw how Lord is fulfilling the pure desires of the pure devotees. It is the desire of Vaisesika Prabhu that we should distribute 10,000. But this year, although it was a pandemic and COVID-19, everything was locked, we could not go out, but still we are getting the score of 23,000. So how Lord is reciprocated. It's amazing, actually. We can't even believe ourselves how it is happening. So actually in Pune, we have our temple president is Grace Radhesham Prabhu, and he is his inspiration behind ISKCON Pune's Bhagavatam distribution, and he gives Bhagavatam classes. So nowadays, every day he is giving classes, and Pune congregation devotees got so much inspiration. He's giving classes in Hindi as well as English, and some of the pastimes of Bhagavatams. And by hearing those Bhagavatams classes, they wanted to purchase Bhagavatam for themselves. And we had arranged that at least each and every family should get one Bhagavatam set. We have 60 counselors, each and every counselors having at least 50 to 60 counselees under them. And it happened like that. And in future, actually, we wanted to have Bhima Prabhu and Vaisesika Prabhu. It's the year before, many years before, both of them came together Pune, and we distributed Bhagavad Gita and books under their guidance. Personally, we having book distribution, practical experience. I can't forget that association of Bhima Prabhu and his Grace Vaisesika Prabhu together, and we made teams and we were distributing. Actually, so I requested Sri Ram Prabhu that at least online classes. We need classes from Vaisesika Prabhu and Bhima Prabhu so that they can train us. Actually, it is very, very important that now we understood that the association of Vaisesika Prabhu as well as Bhima Prabhu and all other devotees, those who are distributing books, they are not ordinary devotees. So please give us association. At least online it is possible nowadays. We understood because of COVID-19. And another thing is that this year, although we got commitment from the devotees, but we could not arrange books. Our books were falling short. And our plan was also actually, because of this year, we have announced that we add this score for our marathon at the end of the December. So because of that, all the devotees got inspired. And next year, at least, we will plan very nicely, and we'll take pledge from the devotees. And one small story I will explain how one of our devotee distributed nicely. And he was distributing, normal other days also he was distributing. This during this marathon, Paramgati Prabhu, his name is Paramgati Prabhu, he took commitment of distributing hundreds of Bhagavatam sets. I just asked, why you are distributing these Bhagavatams? He narrated his story, how he got Bhagavatam. He was a student and he was going to Radha Gopinath temple in Chowpatty, and he used to regularly attend Srimad Bhagavatam, and he desired that I should also have one set of Bhagavatam for myself. Because he is coming from very poor background, he could not arrange Lakshmi for the purchasing Bhagavatam set. One day he was just traveling by one public bus, and when that bus stopped in one bus stand, he saw one full Srimad Bhagavatam set lying in a scrap paper shop. And he just jumped down from that bus, and he just asked that paper shop owner. So he thought that if I ask directly, please give me that book, he may increase the price. So he just acted. So he just asked, what are those volumes of books? So he said, I don't know. Somebody just gave it and I just kept it. So then he took one of the volume and just opened like that. And he just asked, can I purchase this book? How much you will charge? He said, no, no, whatever money you want to give, you can just give. I don't know how to sell. I don't know what are those books. Then he immediately paid 200-300 rupees and purchased those Bhagavatam sets. Then he completed his college, and now he became the software engineer in one of the big company, software company, IBM company. And now he is spending most of his salary for distributing books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, because he got Bhagavatam so nicely, and now he became so inspired by Srimad Bhagavatam that he is continuously distributing books. Thank you very much. And now I am seeing so many very great souls. I am very small person here, but still I need blessings of all the devotees, so that we can continuously take part in Srimad Bhagavatam. Especially every year we are distributing Bhagavad Gita also. And last year, since many years, we are continuously getting. This year for December marathon, we got first rank in India. I think, yeah, in the world we got first rank. Last year we got the second and third. How it happened, I just say. So before marathon, I'll just take dust of Bhima Prabhu every year, and he will bless me. So that so he will tell that, Arey, you will beat all of us, like that. They are giving blessings, and we just need blessings for distributing Srila Prabhupada books. This is his books, Srimad Bhagavatam, and everything is the only solace. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada Grantha Vitaran program ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Please bless everybody. Please bless me.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sarvalakshan Prabhu. Actually, whatever slot we have for India leaders is done. But since we have Mohan Rup Prabhu, very senior devotee, Mohan Rup Prabhu would like to speak for 2 minutes, interest of time. And definitely we'll have one special only session for India. Thank you, Mohan Rup Prabhu, for considering it.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I could not come on time because I was not aware of the meeting. I came to know only after 6:30. So I'm sorry for this. And I would like to thank His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, His Grace Bhima Prabhu to organize such meeting here, and so that we can get inspiration. And also I'd like to thank His Grace Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who is a real source of inspiration for all of us in Delhi for Delhi book distribution. He has been inspiring, spearheading book distribution for a long, long time. And by his mercy, we are able to do something. And of course, book distribution is the heart and soul of Maharaj, and he's trying to fulfill the desire of Srila Prabhupada to publish and distribute books all over India and all over the world. So this Srimad Bhagavatam sets, we were not so much keen about that even last year, up to last year. But this year, before this year started, His Grace Bhima Prabhu met me in Mayapur, and it was in the EP temple at the reception office. He said, why did you start Bhagavatam sets also? So he really pushed me. I would like to thank Bhima Prabhu. I said, Prabhuji, okay, done. If he has said, then let us start with Bhagavatam also this year. And really, Bhagavatam sets is not so easy for us, but this time, some or other, we have pledged some Bhagavatam sets, some number of Bhagavatam sets. And I'm just scared to say in front of all of you how much we have pledged. But we will try our best, and we are trying to organize. I recently had meeting with our leaders in Delhi, and the leaders are also inspired. And they already started, and we are trying to push more and more Bhagavatam sets. We are just waiting for Bhagavatam sets to come because some or other it got delayed, and because of the liver problem and all. So, but I heard that it's going to soon arrive by the end of this month. We will get the Hindi Bhagavatam sets also. English Bhagavatam sets we already got, and Hindi Bhagavatam sets also will reach here. And hopefully we'll be able to do something this time with all your mercy. We need mercy of all the Vaishnavas here, assembled here, and especially His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, His Grace Bhima Prabhu. And if your mercy is there, then we will be able to do something. And I will be very, very happy if Pune is able to defeat us. So Pune is trying very, very hard. And last year, the December Marathon, they defeated us. And I was very, very happy. I will be very, very happy this year also if they can defeat us in Bhagavatam sets also. But we are going to give them a tough time also. So we will try also our best to do that. So we will try our best, and you also try your best. Everybody should try their best. and we will all try our best to distribute Prabhupada's book, Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So thank you very much for inspiring. Thank you very much for engaging. And of course, we never imagined in the situation where everybody is in lockdown situation and affected by corona pandemic all over the world. And we never thought we are going to distribute so many books. So it's a real like a dream, you know. And of course, the online book distribution is much more quicker and much more fast rather than in the personal level, because physically, if you have to move, then you have to go through the traffic jam, and to reach that place, you know, takes a lot of 2 hours, 3 hours, especially in Delhi. It's a heavy traffic, it's smelly Delhi, and it takes a lot of time to reach people here. And through online, we are able to reach very, very fast. And I think online book distribution is very, very effective book distribution program. Recently, we also started a site saying that buy online, buy books online. So buybooks.com. This is a separate site we have started for book distribution. And so last 10 days, I think we are able to distribute around 10,000 books just through the this online book distribution. People are demanding. You won't believe, from Bangalore, we got order. Somebody staying near the Bangalore temple, because Bangalore temple is closed, it's locked. And that guy, you know, staying near the Bangalore temple, he saw our site and he sent an order. Please send me some books. So the books were around like 1,500 rupees, some Science of Civilization, Bhagavad Gita, and some other small books. So we had to send from here because he could not purchase from Bangalore temple because Bangalore temple was locked, and he's a neighbor of Bangalore temple.
Thank you. Thank
So
you,
this
Mohan.
is the benefit of online book distribution. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for your valuable time.
Thank you
thank
to
you,
all the Indian leaders. We are literally drinking in this enthusiasm coming from your hearts. And now we're moving to other parts of the world. We have from Malaysia, Malini Preeti Devi Dasi is going to tell us how things went there and give a brief summary of the mood and what she's looking forward to. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, please accept my respectful obeisances, His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, Bhima Prabhu, and all the Sankirtan devotees all around the world. So I'm Malini Preeti Devi Dasi, representing ISKCON and BBT Malaysia. So I would like to share how we were inspired and how was the Bhadra Purnima successful in ISKCON Malaysia. First, I was approached by Her Grace Shama Mohini Mataji. She is from BBT. And since I was the BBT administrator and being for the BBT page in Malaysia, she told us to join the Bhadra Zoom calls. And she also told me to set the goals for ISKCON Malaysia. So I and myself and Gokul Damodar Prabhu, my god brother, who is the BBT manager for Malaysia. So we were we coordinated this program, and so we were thinking about the goals. So to be honest, we were so much in anxiety because of the pandemic. We were thinking, how is this going to be possible? And in Malaysia, the current situation is recovery lockdown, means it's not such a strict lockdown, so we can, we have to follow some rules. But then, when you're in so much anxiety, and Krishna sends all these amazing things to happen, and I came across this very beautiful quote by Srila Prabhupada where he said, "Do not worry, in spite of war, Srimad Bhagavatam will be distributed. We don't care for war, our preaching business will go on." And this letter was written to Radha Vallabha Prabhu on 21st August 1975. This was a quote that really inspired me, and I joined the Bhadra Zoom call that was done by the Bhadra team. And Vaisesika Prabhu, I want to let you know, I'm really thankful to you. I was really hoping to get your association, and it's so possible through the Zoom calls. And you inspire devotees all around the world to distribute thousands of Srila Prabhupada books. And you said something that really inspired me on the call, where you said that don't be afraid to set your goal, and Lord Chaitanya will give you all mercy. So I went and told my god brother, and I told him, hey, Vaisesika Prabhu said this, so we should set our goal. So we set our goal at 108 sets for ISKCON Malaysia. And my spiritual master, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Srila Guru Maharaj, he's the co-GBC for ISKCON Malaysia. So he kept asking, how's the progress of Srimad Bhagavatam set distribution in ISKCON Malaysia? So with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas, with the encouragement and ISKCON Malaysia, we set at 108, but actually we went beyond targets. We achieved 121 sets for Bhadra 2020. And I want to tell you that another good news that this was indeed the highest as compared to the previous years that we organized the Bhadra campaign. So the other point that I would like to say on the success of Bhadra Purnima, is on how the book distributors approach towards others, how they should have this relationship when they distribute books to the others. They should always have, a follow-up. It doesn't just stop with the book distribution. You have to have a personal care. You cultivate them in Krishna consciousness. And, that will definitely help to go on to pursue for book distribution of other Prabhupada's books and sets. And the third point I want to say is on promotional on social media, promotional brochures on social media, and how you articulate your words. Vaisesika Prabhu wrote in his book in the 7th chapter, "The pen is mightier than the sword," and he wrote about eye at lens, how his mother was impressed with the eye at lens. He wrote a sentence when he was in the 1st grade. So that thing really struck me, and every time I write an article, I will always say, I will write how much Srila Prabhupada books has actually helped everybody all around the world, inspired them. So there was one person that when I was writing, especially during the mid-time of the pandemic, people were going through a lot of difficulties. So there's one thing that I wrote, that how Prabhupada's books help to overcome depression, how it helps to help us to go through difficulties. And there's one lady who contacted me, and she was sharing her personal experiences, how but she has already got Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. She read it twice. So I told her to go on with the Bhagavatam set. She not only got a Bhagavatam set, she also got a Chaitanya Charitamrita set. And through the promotional brochures, I had people all around Malaysia coming to Kuala Lumpur, capital city, to meet us and to get their Bhagavatam sets. So one thing that I like to stress upon is teamwork. So, with the great teamwork of ISKCON Malaysia devotees, in their heart, they wanted to do something for Srila Prabhupada, a dedicated service for their spiritual grandfather and their beloved spiritual master. This whole thing was successful in ISKCON Malaysia. So the things that we need to improve for Malaysia is that next year we should start early. One of the biggest lessons that we learned in Malaysia is that we started off a bit late here in Malaysia, so we need to start early. And we should think, of many other ways how we can actually distribute books, Bhagavatam sets throughout the year. And we also should think on how to engage more congregation devotees to distribute the sets. So I'd like to conclude by saying thank you so much, Vaisesika Prabhu, BBT team, Bhadra Purnima team, for giving us this opportunity, for always inspiring us, for pushing us throughout in the campaign. For the period of that 2-3 weeks, you get up thinking of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets, you think of Bhadra, sleep thinking Bhadra, you get up thinking Bhadra, you eat thinking Bhadra, you think Bhadra all the time, and your consciousness is just so super good. And at this, I would say that of all when you are distributing sets, books, this was indeed, Bhadra Purnima was the most ecstatic, the best thing ever happened to me, and I think a lot of devotees for the on book distribution. I can say that, and it's all by Krishna's miracle and Srila Prabhupada's miracle. Thank you, and Hare Krishna. That's all I got to say.
Haribo. Thank you very much, Malini Devi Dasi, and congratulations to Malaysia. Now we're moving across the globe, and we're going to be hearing from Divya Nam Prabhu, who helped to organize Europe as well as UK. So please direct us. Also, keep in mind, everybody, that we're going to have multiple meetings because we're all in this together. So if there are other thoughts you have, you can, if you have extra things to say, keep them in a notation, because everything that everyone's learned is really important. Go ahead, Divyanam Prabhu.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you. My humble obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. So from Europe, it is exciting news because we decided on our, well, we were given our goal at the end of Kartik last year in Govardhan to do 500 sets. And at the most UK had ever delivered was 180. So in the first instance, we thought it will be difficult to deliver the goal, but we thought we will go for it. And then we reached out to the many devotees across UK. So for the first time, I'm delighted to say, normally we have 2 temples or 3 temples taking part, but we had 12 temples who took part across UK and Europe this year. So I would like to invite Anthony Prabhu, who's the Sankirtan leader at ISKCON Soho Temple, who will briefly share his experience of Bhadra campaign and how they not only met, but even surpassed their target of distribution of Bhagavatam set from Soho. So Anthony Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Divyanam Prabhu, Vaisesika Prabhu, and all the assembled Vaishnav. Yeah, it was very great time distributing Bhagavatam sets. For me, it was a first experience. It's the most ecstatic thing I ever done. It's really wonderful, and we're definitely keeping it up for next years for sure. Our success was definitely through the calling parties, since we couldn't go out in the streets and reaching to people. So what we learn is if you don't ask, you never know what's gonna be the answer of the people you ask. So we keep on asking everyone we called, hey, you have a Bhagavatam set or not? You know, this is the right time to get some books and get enlivened in spiritual knowledge. So yeah, we did, at first we set up a goal of 25, and then after some talk with Divyanam Prabhu, said to me, hey, you can do 50, no? So we get up for 50 and we reached it. We did 52 at the end, so it was really, really successful. Actually, Bhadra Purnima is not, I just realized also that Bhadra Purnima is not only September, 1st of September, but it's just going through all year round. And we have to be ready, really ahead. Because we came quite late in the campaign. So for next year, definitely just try to plan ahead. And that will make the campaign easier. Another thing I was thinking about is definitely organize a regular reading, just make groups, Bhagavatam reading groups, and read with distributors, because if you don't read Bhagavatam, it's really difficult to distribute it. And the other thing is induce more the congregation, just invite more people, because the more there's people distributing, the funny it gets, and you get more ecstasy. It's really wonderful. So yeah, thank you again for everyone participating. It was a really, really amazing campaign, and I'm gonna smash it again next year.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anthony Prabhu, for your dedication in this Bhadra campaign. This ISKCON London Soho did very well, and there is a huge potential next year. Like to now go over through the Eurostar towards Belgium. If I could invite Yadurani Mataji, who called me in the beginning of the campaign and said, Divyanam, I can try to do 20 sets. I said, Yadurani Mataji, I'm sure you will do much more, so go for it. She started with 20 sets in her mind and landed up doing 60 sets. But I consider her biggest success was involving Holland and Luxembourg, 2 other cities, into this campaign and doing really big. So congratulations to you, Yadurani Mataji. Please share some success with us and with all the devotees. Well done. Thank you, Yadurani Mataji.
You're still muted.
You just need to unmute yourself, Yadurani Mataji.
I did it. Yeah. Thank you. I really can contribute the motivation to dare and do this to Divyanam Prabhu. I didn't really believe that I can do, and then even Divyanam said it's just quite a big number for somebody who doesn't have the books, because we didn't actually have the facility of the sets. But somehow or other, the devotees were kind of pushing, and they were kind of telling, oh, are you going to do it again, this Bhadra Punim, because last year we did it for one day actually. And then I kind of started, okay, why to just ask people? And Radha Desh is very special because we didn't really have this problem of the pandemic, because the temple was always available. The people, amazing people were coming, and it was such an incredible atmosphere. And it was such a loving feeling, and we were reading together. We were reading actually every day in the evening Krishna book, and guests were sitting around, and we were sitting and discussing. So the whole atmosphere was so much attractive, and it was nothing. You didn't really have to convince people. Just ask if you have the Srimad Bhagavatam, and they say no, but I want to have. I mean, people came forward, to take it. So it was amazing. It was nothing to do with me. I was just kind of asking people, and things were happening. So I really contributed not to. It was really clear that it was a desire, which was there, and then it was there in the air, and it was inserted in the hearts of people. And then what I want to do for the next one, and actually continuing now, I just more focus on people, the quality of relationships that we have, the follow-up. Let's make sure that people continuing with that, and then we have a very nice communication, and then they can express themselves. They can go deeper into the practice of Krishna consciousness. And I think this is the most important, the relationship with the devotees, cooperation with the devotees. It was, everything was revealed in such a wonderful way when Krishna was in the center. And I feel like this is actually what makes the distribution happen. It was amazing to see how these books were going, and then making people happy. And it's still going on. The whole motion is just continuing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yadurani Mataji. That was superb.
Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would now like to take you all to the famous Bhaktivedanta Manor Temple, the second temple in the West, where Prabhupada's lotus feet have fallen the most amount of time after Los Angeles. And I would like to invite Keshav Gokulanand Prabhu, who will share the result, the amazing result, a dream which we were only dreaming and were not sure whether it'll come true. With 300 sets in pandemic, it was the goal at the Manor, and 500 was the UK goal, and 550 was the Europe goal. And Manor did half of it, because of which we managed to not only smash the Manor goal, but we smashed UK goal and we smashed the Europe goal as well. So Keshav Gokulanand Prabhu is an empowered disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj, a senior leader in our Sankirtan team, working with Vrindavan Chand Prabhu. So over to you, Keshav Gokulanand Prabhu. Please tell us, how did Bhaktivedanta Manor did?
Hare Krishna, everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you very much, Divyanam Prabhu. I know we're limited on time. And again, Bhaktivedanta Manor, the Congregation Sankirtan Yatra is led by Divyanam Prabhu himself. And we've got Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, who leads the Gomatya part of the project. So obviously Divyanam Prabhu asked me to speak a little about, but again, as Vaisesika Prabhu and a lot of the leaders have mentioned, it's all about cooperation. And I think our biggest success was because we worked as a team. So no small idea was small enough, but we picked up on every idea that came through the whole Yatra congregation, and we gave that emphasis, and also we took that on board. And so organization was big. And just like Vaisesika Prabhu says, there's 4 laws of book distribution. And one of the laws of book distribution is you must organize. Without organization, as I'm sure all of you know, nothing's possible. And as Divyanam Prabhu said, our target was 300, and we managed to do 325 sets. Going back when this target of 500 was set last year, we weren't aware that this pandemic is going to come across the whole globe. So come forward to 2020, we were a bit kind of hesitant. We were kind of anxious, anticipating that we've set a target of 500, which is huge because the year before we only did 180 sets during Bhadra. And there's a bit of anxiety, but again, as Vaisesika Prabhu says, my Guru Maharaj, as Bhakti Vikas Prabhu says, think big. So again, Divyanam Prabhu was driving behind that same idea, think big. Regardless, we will do it and we'll smash it. And the success, we had a few ideas. One of the ideas that kind of proved to be very successful was packaging the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam in different packages that are attractive to everyone. So we had 3 different packages we were giving out to everyone. One of them is just distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam itself with a core price. The second package was where Srimad Bhagavatam offered on a golden throne. I think in the previous years, you might have seen this golden throne. We've got the throne in the form of Matsya Dev, and it has twofold purposes. Again, to emphasize the verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, we're offering Srimad Bhagavatam on the golden throne. And the other is it works as a book stand. So you can put Srimad Bhagavatam on that to worship and also read. And our last package was actually the Bhagavad Life package. And the Bhagavad Life package was a whole encompassing package where we were giving the Srimad Bhagavatam golden throne, and also we were giving people the opportunity to have an hour session with a Bhagavad Life coach. So basically how to live the life according to the Bhagavatam. And also on top of that, we have the School of Bhakti at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, which is all doing online courses at the moment. And just today, they started the course of whoever took the Bhagavad Life package, that they would get 8 session, so 1 every week, 8 session of the summary of Bhagavatam from cantos 1 to 6. Again, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu initiated that the session today, and hence he's not here. So those were our key strategies. And one strategy again was to build up teams. So we had teams of 6 teams. We had named them also nicely, like we had Hari Toshnam, Galita Phalam, different teams, where one allocated leader from the team would get a number of devotees under them. And the goal was for each team to distribute at least 25 Srimad Bhagavatam sets. But all the teams did much more than 25 sets, again, to the success of the whole oral target. And yeah, so that was one organization that kind of played very nicely. Again, logistics was all in place. We had a few houses where that garages or storage space where we'd get Bhagavatams from different from the Bhaktivedanta warehouse, Europe, UK, and then bring them there. So we had central places where we could do logistics nicely. We had the online system payment through the Bhaktivedanta Manor website, where anybody wanted to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, take a Bhagavatam, or also sponsor, they've just gone to the website, make the payment. And again, so that would be completed. We had a separate Google form for the admin side of where they wanted to place or the addresses and so what. So again, yeah, organization key here. And again, with Divyanam Prabhu and many other leaders everywhere across the whole yatra, we came together as a team and we managed to do this very nicely, successfully, and with the blessings of all the senior Vaishnavas on this call and elsewhere. Lessons learned, improvements. We still have to decide on these as a team, but a couple that came through was maybe to start early, as most of you said. Also, another one was to get senior leaders to come and give us seminars. We had His Grace Radhika Raman Prabhu, who did one later into the Bhadra campaign, and that was very inspiring. And he actually mentioned that even if you got one set of Bhagavatam in your house, you should have another set. If you got a 2-story house, have one on each floor. If you got a 3-story house, have one on all 3 floors. So again, that was very kind of encouraging and also inspiring. So yes, I'd like to thank Divyanam Prabhu for his leadership here, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, and all the other devotees, and His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu always guiding us whenever he comes to the UK. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Keshav Gokulanand Prabhu. That was wonderful. I'll hand it back to His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu for any concluding comments. And thank you for organizing this so nicely. We even went to the houses of devotees to thank them with prasadam and certificates at the end. So thank you, Prabhu.
Now we're moving to Africa with Tirumala Devi Dasi. And just to let everybody know, this isn't a final conclusive meeting. All points will be collected. So you don't have to summarize it or give everything. We plan on circling back and staying in touch with the whole team so everyone's ideas for improvement will be recorded. We're making a book, actually, Bhadra Purnima book, that will have all the lectures we had last year, plus all of your ideas. And we'll take them from you individually as well as in future meetings. So don't think that you have to get everything in this meeting. Over to you, Tirumala Devi Dasi. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I must start off by saying that, you know, in the beginning of the year, we had discussions around setting a goal. And there was a number of 100 that was put forth. And there was a lot of skepticism that even that would be achievable. So the total that we achieved was 134. And that was the highest that we've ever achieved in Africa for a Bhadra campaign. So, and I must say that there are a lot of amazing stories that came out of this. And one of the most inspiring things I wanted to mention was that we were at the very beginning of the campaign, we had a lot of difficulty in getting started, but we were fortunate enough to have our annual BBT Africa conference. And that was around mid-July, and we were fortunate enough to have His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu speak there. And it really inspired the devotees. And we also, at that same conference, had a sort of like a seminar format where we had different leaders from different parts of Africa discussing their different challenges in book distribution over the period and sharing ideas, etc. But what I wanted to mention was that the most inspiring thing was that after the conference, those same devotees still continued with their discussions and their collaboration in sharing ideas, and that really helped, you know, in boosting enthusiasm, etc., for the campaign. So I'm very grateful for that. And so unfortunately, His Grace Vibhu Chaitanya Prabhu sent his apologies. He couldn't make it because of another engagement, and as well as Mother Dwarika Vasini. And they are the two like biggest book distribution leaders in Africa. But yes, they couldn't make it. And one of the points that Mother Dwarika Vasini wanted me to mention was the importance of imbibing the mood of Srimad Bhagavatam, not in just distributing it, but in ourselves, imbibing that mood of wanting to share, etc. Because one of the nice things that we saw in Kenya was devotees who came forth to sponsor books. And yeah, so I just wanted to mention that. And so from Mauritius, we have His Grace Prem Vilas Prabhu, who would like to share something. Hare Krishna, Prem Vilas Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. Everyone, I would like to thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to participate in this Zoom call. So I am representing the Mauritius Yatra, especially His Grace Tamal Krishna Das, who was really into this Bhadra campaign. Really for us, the Bhadra campaign is something not so well known, so it took off a little bit slowly. I mean, even the leaders here were a bit skeptic about it. But then this Bhadra campaign helped us to raise awareness and like about the importance and joy of distributing the Srimad Bhagavatam and even studying the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially among the young devotees. And the result was obvious. I mean, we distributed the whole yatra, 26 sets. You may think that this is a very small compared to the other score that we heard earlier. But everyone just put in their effort together and we were able to achieve this. So one realization during this campaign was that many people have the knowledge about Srimad Bhagavatam. And all that was needed that we devotees go and talk to them about it and like ignite and fan the desire to get a set. I mean, they already know, but what they don't know that they can get a set for themselves. So it is up to us to do this part. And really like people were very enthusiastic, and then we also got people who wanted to get a copy, a set, but we didn't have it in stock, which brings us to the challenges that we face here in Mauritius. Really, we don't have like the capability, the financial or the organizational structure to get a big stock of books, whether it is Srimad Bhagavatam sets or any or other books or Srila Prabhupada. Actually, we can have a yearly order, 2 times we order from the BBT, and at the maximum we can order three times. But this is our main challenge, and we have like looking at the result that this campaign has brought. So we are organizing so that we can work on this weakness that we have here. And then also another thing we notice is that although we have many devotees and they are all aware of the importance of book distribution, but most of them are like casual book distributors, and we have only a handful of them that are really dedicated. So we are working on that so that to engage more devotees, and it is really working. People are coming and they're showing interest, and slowly we're training them. It really set off because of this Bhadra campaign. And the good thing is that whatever stock of Srimad Bhagavatam sets that we had in Mauritius, all were gone during the Bhadra campaign. And there are still so many people who are looking for a set of Bhagavatam, and we are organizing and they're working on it. So we would like to thank the organizers of the Bhadra campaign, and really here now people are becoming more aware of this, and we will work on this, and hopefully we have set a target of around 60 sets. I mean, not around, but 60 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. But I sincerely think that we are going to go more than that for next time. So thank you very much for everyone, for Vaisesika Prabhu, for Bhima Prabhu, and all the devotees for participating and inspiring devotees all around the world to participate in the Bhadra campaign. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhudas Prabhu. Thank you, Tirumala Devi Dasi. So we're going over time because this is new for us, connecting everybody together in the whole world and getting our rhythm together as one team. And also because of the nature of enthusiasm, it tends to expand and overpower everything. So that's what's happening today. If you need to move on, it's okay. We're going to record. We are recording this, but I do urge you to stay if you can, because we still have North America, and we're going to go a little bit over now on time. Apologies, but here we go into North America, and we ask Sri Krishna Purushottam to help us through the roster of devotees who are going to give a brief account of the active ingredients that worked for Bhadra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances, All Krishna Prabhupada. I think we are very fortunate. Many temples are jealous because we are working under Vaisesika Prabhu. I represent ISKCON Silicon Valley, and Prabhu is, because of all our goals we are meeting, is because of His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu, and He's envisioning us. So I have like two, three speakers from North America. Everybody did excellent, but we just want to bring, because of the time, only two, three speakers here in the call. So Team ISV, under the guidance of Vaisesika Prabhu, we are in 3 weeks, ISV did around 1500 sets of Srimad Bhagavatams within 3 weeks. So it's all happened when we call Vaisesika Prabhu in the pandemic time. How we can do it is that it's the same thing. Go pick up your phone and call the people, and then it will happen. And also in 3 years ago, Bhima Prabhu invited us to Mumbai. And as Sarvalakshan Prabhu said, the power of association. So both Bhima Prabhu and Vaisesika Prabhu, so we are able to manage these goals. And one more turning point is that the conference calls, we had organized the Zoom conference calls with Gopal Krishna Maharaj, with Bhima Prabhu, Vaisesika Prabhu, and Bhakti Raghav Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, all exalted Vaishnavas. So that calls is a big turning point that boost entire our energy, and we are able to achieve those goals in North America. So now I hand over to His Grace Malini Mataji. She's our co-Sankirtan leader in our Silicon Valley Temple, and she is expert book distributor. Mataji, can you come online, please?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas here. I'm grateful for an opportunity to speak. I'm also just representing ISV devotees who have done huge this year. Actually, it is said that when His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu made a promise in Tirupati that he wants to distribute 10,000 Bhagavatam sets, of course, Krishna will make it happen. The question was whether we will be part of that result or promise or not. And when Prabhu came and requested that, I made this promise, please help me, then all the devotees became so excited to help Prabhu. And the devotees, not only in ISV, but in North America also tried to fulfill this promise. A lot of innovation was made here at ISV, and all the devotees, including our corporate team, Shraddha Mataji's team, in corporates, they actually distributed more than 700 sets in just a month, which was amazing. It was mind-boggling. And also we had Bhagavat Seva, a project that is led by Sukheshwari, also distributed a lot. And not only that, as an improvement, they already started thinking for the next year Bhadra Purnima. And this year they wanted to do a goal of 1,000 sets for Bhagavat Seva by itself. And we also want to bring up that kids at ISV have done amazing, and they actually put personal videos on Facebook attracting people to take Srimad Bhagavatam sets. Overall, I think initially when we set a goal of 500 sets for Srimad Bhagavatam for ISV, we thought, I don't know how we can do it, but then we thought, okay, let's increase to 700. But by somehow Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we did 1,800 Bhagavatam sets for ISV. And I felt that the biggest takeaway for me was when the global tracker was in place and we could see all the temples in North America putting their numbers. The moment that was out, the more you show, the more you sell. Our 4 laws of book distribution, one of them. When they didn't say that, they didn't see the score of their temple, they immediately started becoming more enthusiastic, and they started doing more sets, and somehow all the numbers were popping up. So that was really good. And I don't want to repeat the other points that were already mentioned, but I was so inspired to listen to all the leaders around the world. And we just don't want to limit ourselves next year to do small, but we should always think big. Our goal should be higher and higher because I think the capacity and the capability is there. It's just that we have to tax our brain more. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I think many are early this year when I see Vaisesika Prabhu in our temple. Prabhu said, when we'll beat Mayapur? Or when we'll beat ISKCON Delhi. So this is the encouragement we get from Vaisesika Prabhu. So is continuously inspiring us to achieve these goals. Now I invite Mahotsav Prabhu and Gopal Champu Prabhu from Yuga Dharma Ashram, Atlanta. They are like distributing sets left and right in the streets. Not only Bhagavad Gita's, they are distributing Bhagavatam sets in the streets of Atlanta, and also they earlier distributed in New York. So we would like to invite them as their ashram sets Yuga Dharma. Our Yuga Dharma is Sankirtan, and we'd like to invite them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please on basis of Hare Krishna Gurman, Hare Krishna Prabhu, set by humble basis. So one main principle for us during the Bhadra campaign was Bhaktivinoda Dar Kokananudai Hoibena, nothing can stop the flow of devotion coming from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Prabhupada actually writes, it says in the one place that, let there be war, but the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam will not stop. So we thought, okay, let there be whatever the hell, let there be anything, but the book distribution should not stop. So we just, somehow they had the desire and we just somehow pushed through. So that's one point. You can say that. Oh yeah, and so, so the 3 ways we want to improve for next year is actually have a stock of Srimad Bhagavatam sets. We didn't have such a big stock of Srimad Bhagavatam, but next year we plan to have more Bhagavatam sets in stock. So instead of telling people, give me your address and I'll send you the set, like, okay, you can take the set right now to keep it in your car. And then a couple other points we were thinking of what could be improvements for next year was start promoting earlier. Of course, we were blindsided by this COVID. So we really, even though we kind of had Bhadra on our mind, as soon as this global pandemic hit, it kind of put us on cruise control. And coming towards, the end of the campaign, we kind of had a wake-up call around Janmashtami. We were thinking, wait a second, we set a goal of 300, where are we at? And on that point of setting the goal also, so we plan on making the goal more visible next year. And as far as start the campaigning earlier, and then be more aware of the goal. And that way, as far as our hitting our goal, where we had set a goal of 300, we actually ended up smashing that, coming to 387 sets. And we owe that to, I feel like, putting the goal and making it visible just 2 weeks before Vajra Purnima itself. We just felt a tremendous focus, and practically 24 hours a day for the last 2 weeks of the campaign. Mahotsa Prabhu and myself were just like, just we ate, we just ate and beat Srimad Bhagavatam. Eat, sleep, Bhagavatam. It was really great. And then to share some favorite success stories. So for myself, I was really inspired. There was one Bhagavatam that I distributed to this one nice gentleman in California. When he received this set, he made a post about, I'm so grateful I received this set of books, and he put up a picture of the Bhagavatam, and he says these books tell all the knowledge about God and about who he is, about where he lives, and he said it gives a whole description of God and about about the spiritual realm. Then there was one lady who commented on that post, who was actually a Christian lady, and she said, "What? These books actually, they look so amazing. Where can I get a set?" And he put her in contact with me, and I spoke to her briefly. She said, "Yeah, I'm Christian, but I just feel so attracted to these books. I'd like to get a set." She ended up giving a $500 donation, and I was just thinking of the all attractive nature of Srimad Bhagavatam. So just making it more available, making it more visible, and we think it would be. So we had 30 seconds more. So there was one guy I distributed a book to, invited him over to the Sunday program. He came, and then after some time he had to move. So he told his friend about our program. And his friend came for the first time. He doesn't know who the Hare Krishnas were, what we are, what we look like. He just came. I gave a Bhagavad Gita class, and I told the Bhagavad Gita class, you guys had to take a Srimad Bhagavatam set. And this guy right out of the class, he didn't know what was what, didn't know who the devotees were, nothing. And he told him, it's Bhadra Purnima, you have to take the Bhagavatam set. And he said, really? Okay, I'm going to buy a Bhagavatam set, bro. And he was like a big, fat, black guy with glasses, and he bought a Bhagavatam set. So that was awesome. So sorry, we are 10 seconds over time, but I hope the Vaishnavas can forgive our offenses.
Haribol!
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Gopal Chandra Prabhu. That was a nectar. Haribol. So we would like to call Lokadaksha Prabhu and Vidarbha Sutha Mataji. So they are from ISKCON Baltimore. They are very innovative techniques. They distribute Bhagavatams or Bhagavad Gitas. They have these festivals around like even last year, and now in the pandemic time, they are having telephone calls and distributing Bhagavatam sets. And floor is yours, Prabhu. Right.
I guess our story is the mercy of all the Vaishnavas on this conference and His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. we started out with a goal of 108, and then that seemed like a big mountain to climb during this pandemic. And we thought, let's just put it there and see what happens. And whenever I'd go to temple a few times during the pandemic and in front of the deities, I'd said, please let us distribute in my heart 200. And I know that is impossible, but you can do whatever you please. And I guess for us, what worked this year was the calling party and also the Narsima Yagya that really worked well.
We had that yesterday.
Yeah, we had that yesterday and the Hobilam Yagya. The improvements for the next year would be organizing early, dividing into teams earlier, and just working in a more dedicated manner right from maybe Gaur Purnima. This year we started out in June, so we lost out a lot of months that way. But next year we'll plan better.
I think the one idea that I think we can borrow from the manor was having a Bhagavatam set on each level of the house.
Yes.
That was a really nice idea. I think we can try that.
And take it to every room.
I guess one of our success story, couple that comes to our mind is one is just this, internal understanding and appreciation for the fact that the process of bhakti cannot be stopped by any material condition. And we have to admit that we were a little skeptical in the beginning, thinking, how is this possible, right, in the midst of Corona? But we could see that even this pandemic actually became a stepping stone for us, and the calling parties became such an amazing way for us to connect. And another advantage of this calling party that we saw was actually reconnecting with some very, old contacts. And we found that sometimes people ask like, okay, people got these books, but where are they? And, we found that we called one person, and it was so heartwarming for us to know that even though, he had lost contact with us over so many years.
Last 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
5 years. But, he said, some devotees just approached me like in a grocery store in Houston, and they said, we have a Sanga here, why don't you come? And then it made us realize that this calling party, we could continue even for the rest of the year. And those were some really inspiring moments for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu and Mataji. Hare Krishna. And now we would like to welcome our team ISV kid. His name is Srivatsa. He was distributing books from the womb itself, when he was in the baby. So he used to go out and distribute. Now he's 17 years old. And we would like to hear from him how he distributed a set Srimad Bhagavatam set distribution. Srivatsa.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for giving me this opportunity. This pandemic was very, very eye-opening, because before going on book distribution on Saturday was a very given thing. Everyone did it, and once COVID hit, everything changed so quickly, because now nobody was allowed to go outside, and we had to rethink how to do Sankirtan. And luckily, because of Kameshwari Mataji and a lot of the devotees at our temple, we were able to organize Kids Sankirtan in a very effective way. We had calling parties every Saturday, and a lot of the kids participated. And we were also able to call other communities and help them get involved as well, so that many, many devotees were able to participate. And it was really eye-opening to see how inspiring it is to see other devotees do Sankirtan, because sometimes whenever I was feeling down, like down in the sense that I wasn't feeling enthusiastic to go on calling parties, I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Yuga Dharma Ashram. I don't know if any of them know me, but I followed them on Instagram, and I remember I went on Instagram that one time, and I saw that Mahotsaha Prabhu distributed a Parshuram set, which is 2 Saptarishi sets and a Prabhupada Leelamrita set to one person on the street. And I was thinking, wow, look at them. They're going on Sankirtan every single day with so much utsahan, and they're doing so many books that I should probably go and try to distribute some amount of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's also a very humbling experience, because you understand that nothing happens without Mahaprabhu's mercy, and that even if you thought you gave the best Bhagavatam presentation ever, if Mahaprabhu's mercy isn't there, it's not going to go. But even if you did a presentation that wasn't your best, but Mahaprabhu's mercy is there, the Bhagavatam will go. So it's been a very, very big learning experience, and I'm very thankful to have this as being a youth. I'm hoping that maybe next time a lot more youth can become involved in this in the Badar campaign, so that it could become a world youth thing, and that everyone can inspire each other with some transcendental competition. And in that way, we can all do much more Bhagavatam sets. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Srivastava. Hari Bol. Just want to let all devotees in North America know that Vaisesika Prabhu is organizing a calls, like, this is not the last call. So those who are not able to speak today, don't think we are ignoring any of you Vaishnavas. So we will have the calls in future. Thank you. Back to Vaisesika Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's a good problem to have that we have more leaders to speak than we have time for. So we take this as a representative sample of what we have going on, so we can test the kind of enthusiasm. And really, today we learned a lot about the gaps, and one of the ways that we're going to grow is by filling those gaps. Also, we learned about the good ideas that devotees have. We're going to collect all of them, and we'll integrate them into the program worldwide. We also talked and heard a lot about working together, and we continue to we intend to continue to work together and create a unified spirit around the world. And now I'm going to talk about what's coming up for the last quarter, or at least the last 4 months. And here's a few slides about what's in store for the world team. And I think Ramananda Prabhu will be sharing the slide, if I'm not incorrect. But while I'm waiting for him to put it up, and somebody can confirm that he's putting it up, I want to mention a few highlights for me. One was Revati Raman Prabhu talking about getting married to the Srimad Bhagavatam. We heard that from Gopal Champa Mahotsava. They were just thinking Bhagavatam and absorbed constantly. Then also, I wanted to mention the importance of having those sadhus who had come on, starting with Gopal Krishna Maharaj, just because of the words they spoke in their presence. Really, it sparked a revolution, and we can see the importance of what a sadhu speaks and how it affects everybody in the world. And can I have confirmation, Shamahini, that we're going to get the slides?
Yes, Prabhu, the slides are already on.
So what do I have to do?
You can, Prabhu, can you see the slides? They're on a slide speaker, like it's a window.
Yeah, I see that. So do I have to do something about
Prabhu,
that?
you can just speak to them, and Ramananda Prabhu will move them along.
Okay. Oh, I see. I was just on a different view, so I only saw the small ones. Okay, so really we want service for service. We're in this not for the result. We're not reward seeking. We're looking to increase our services. Go. How come they're so pixelated? Anyways, they're not pixelated in the creation. I don't know why they're getting pixelated in the presentation here, but they're not in the actual item itself. But we're looking at the next 4 months of creating momentum, gathering from what we've just experienced together in Bhadra for cooperation for the greater good. That's really the mood and the theme, and the building the pipeline together and growing. Next. So the title of our next campaign for the next 4 months is Live to Give. And it encompasses Purushottam, go back. Purushottam, go back. Purushottam, Kartik, and Gita Jayanti. Of course, Purushottam month, I wrote a paper about it, and I'll be sending it out. In general, the Shastras all agree that it's a month where you get extra credit. So we don't have anything very specific. We want everyone to make their own ideas, but just know that during Purushottam month, you're getting extra credit for all your services, what to speak of book distribution, expanding the Sankirtan movement. We have Kartik, which is similar in that way. It's a deeply devotional month for the devotees. and that includes increasing hearing, chanting, and Sankirtan. And of course, Gita Jayanti, which is a standard by which we aim for a collective goal together around the world. And we'll look at the next slide, which shows a world goal of 2 million Gitas. This is something that we can smash together. So we will in the upcoming weeks give some indication about what kind of numbers will be required. Since we're already doing Gita Jayanti all over the world anyway, and since some of the devotees mentioned about the importance of setting goals, Malini Preeti said, don't be afraid to set your goals as a mantra that she remembered. And this is going to help us measure together all over the world how we are doing. What gets measured gets improved. So this year, we will be measuring how we're moving towards 2 million Gitas. We're somewhere in that neighborhood anyway, worldwide. But this year, we want to have it very clearly in mind, the 2 million Gitas for the globe, and we want to smash the goal. So use these events in the last year, Purushottam, then Kartik, and then Gita Jayanti. And the Prabhupada Marathon is the overarching impetus, because it's going to encompass the last part of the year with all of these elements within it, and then a very specific goal of distributing 2 million Gitas. Thank you very much. So we will be, okay, this is our global bond. And again, coming back to the mood of cooperation, we're taking these goals together to create the bond in the mood of cooperation that Bhima Prabhu talked about in the very beginning, and others mentioned the power of global unity. And this is really what holds us together, is our mood of service together. Everyone in every culture has some differences, ways of looking at things, different management styles. It all has to do with cultural, psychophysiological differences. How do you have unity in the diversity of a multinational movement? And the way is to have a goal that binds us together. I propose that book distribution is an unassailable goal. It's something that everybody knows. Prabhupada's guru told him, if you ever get money, print books. It's the goal through which Prabhupada mentioned in the 7 Purposes of ISKCON helps us to achieve all the aforementioned goals, and helps us to bring up all programs at the same time when we're united on this goal. So let's imbibe this. Let's take it in our hearts, and also advocate for cooperation, sublimating the individual ego for the collective ego. Let's beat Gideons. Let's beat the Watchtower magazine. They're way ahead of us. Why should Christians be converting everybody in small villages? Why not us distributing tens of millions of Bhagavatam sets to all the villages in India? Why not us being famous all over the world for distribution of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam more than any other group? That should be us. Let's compete against that and come together as one team. Hare Krishna. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, we just wanted to also announce that we will have regional calls. So Apramaya, if you can please bring up the slides again. There's timings for the regional calls that are coming up, and also the full poster for the campaign. So this is the poster for the campaign Live to Give. Like for the Bhadra campaign, we will be sending out materials to all the teams all over the world, and best practices and other resources. There's also a plan for Mahariti.
Sorry, I forgot to mention this, but on Gita Jayanti, we'll also be having a combined world goal to chant on that day, the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, to have millions of people. Can you describe this goal a little bit more?
Yes, Prabhu. So our goal is to have, perhaps, like you said, millions of people chanting the Bhagavad Gita on the day of Gita Jayanti, and that we can promote this as a campaign to encourage people to register for the campaign, and by that means we can engage them in distribution or distribute to them. We're also hoping that this campaign will have a global appeal so that we can reach people who are outside of our regular network of devotees. So that's the plan.
That is a fine plan, in my opinion. Live to give. So the more we give and the more we organize to give Krishna consciousness to others, the more it grows in our lives, the more our movement grows, because we're a movement of giving. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the members of the Panchatattva tasted and distributed the contents. And that's what puts vitality in our movement. It's like breathing. When we go out to give Krishna consciousness to those who aren't expecting it and to whom we're not sure if they'll take it or not. Someone made the comment earlier, Bhakta Anton said, if you don't ask, you don't know if they'll take or not. So it's in taking that risk to ask people and trying for these things where we actually get our oxygen, because we see how vital this is to give to people. And that's what makes our movement great. So live to give. Go ahead, Shamahini.
Just as a conclusion, like many leaders mentioned, we will have regional celebration and brainstorming calls. These are the dates and times for it. We will be in touch with you to give more details so that you can also invite other devotees in your yatras and grow the global team. Thank you, Vaisesika Prabhu. That's all from us.
Thank you, Shamahini and team. Thanks for everybody who helped to make this happen. And our apologies for going over time. And we will take that into consideration in future meetings of how to tame the enthusiasm so that we have on-time meetings. Thank you very much, everyone. I'd like to make a group prayer together. Our dear Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if you so desire, please empower our global book distribution team with the spirit of cooperation. Please let us make loftier and loftier goals and smash them for your pleasure, and to save the world from the disaster course it's on now by giving the transcendental literature and the holy names to people all over the world. Thank you for considering our request. Everyone who appreciates in part or in whole the sentiment of this prayer, please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
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 Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Hare. Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hari Bol. Do big. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. We will be now ending the Zoom call. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And please stay tuned for the other regional calls that are there.
Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, hey, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman, Natari Armarman.